Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of May 20th. We're coming into this week, I'm going to tell you hands down, we have a busy sky. It is a very, very, very busy, communicative sky happening this week, but there's also these beautiful moments this week to stop and pause and consider what you're saying, what you're doing. Do you really want to agree to that? What have you completed as we have the full moon happening this weekend? And, when you're tracking back in your story, what has come to light? Where do you need to pivot and recommit yourself to something in the journey? Where do you feel like you're maybe over these last months felt a little lost in the sauce? You felt a little lost in the world. I don't know where I fit in society. I don't know where I fit maybe in my community. This is a week where I think we start to get some symbols. We start to get some help and some clues about you finding your place where, I love Andrew Henderson says it, and it's something I base my life off of, but go where you're treated best. And this is a week where I think we get some helpers to be able to navigate that energy. So I'll be telling you all about that in this video. Now, keep in mind that in the description box down below are your timestamps for every day this week and everything else happening in this video. So you can just click to what you need. No need to hang out with me for the whole time if you don't want to, but it's all sorted for you in the description box. Now, also, before we jump into this video, starting in June, we are just a couple weeks away. I will be teaching live my Astrology 101 Foundations class. And the class for the entire thing, we're going to cover quadrants and hemispheres, planets, signs, houses, aspects, elements. We're going to cover all of that. And the entire series, while I'm building it, is $67. This class is going to be a part of a series of courses that will be a part of my school. So I love it. If you want to get in and you feel like you're looking for a way to invest in your astrology and invest live, so you're not just learning by yourself, this is definitely the class for you to get in on, because once the course is built, the price will be higher and it will be a part of something bigger that will still be beautiful. But I remember signing my very first contract in my life that I was legally responsible for when I was 18 years old. I signed it with T-Mobile, okay? And my plan that had all the texting, all the unlimited minutes, all the, right, was $47 a month. I am 42 years old. And I am still grandfathered into my plan with T-Mobile. So it pays to get in while it's being built sometimes, okay? So if that's you, you're ready to study, or you need a refresher in those areas, if you are not sure how to speak about the quadrants and the hemispheres in your chart, if you don't understand fully why Taurus and Libra are not the same, even though they are both ruled by Venus, this is the foundational course for you. So click in the description box down below, jump in, check it out. I would love to have you. We start June 1st, okay? All right, beautiful friends, let's do it. Let's go into this week. Now, first and foremost, as we're coming in this week, I want you to keep in mind that we are coming in on what has been, at least since Sunday, a really long void of course moon energy. So first of all, coming in on Monday, the energy is not really highly popping, okay? It's just not. It's a little bit more still. It's better for rest, coming in slowly, having a bit of a refresher, saying, okay, I see that email's there, and let me have my coffee, maybe have a slower morning to start in, and then I'll start kicking in my mental capacity. So it's a little bit of a slower go as the energy's coming in on Monday. But let me tell you what, it's not a slow go for very long, because we are going to see a couple things happen. First of all, the sun moves into Gemini. So happy birthday, Geminis. Happy birthday. This is your solar return, your annual year. So I hope that you set your seeds of intention for what you would like to do, who you'd like to become, what you'd like to experience in this next year. And I hope that too, you have taken an opportunity to look back at your life from this year, from last year to this year, and to see who you've become in that time. What did you learn? Celebrate it, because whatever it was, you're still in the game. Okay. Now, for all of us, this is the birthday time for the Gemini area of your chart. So what is this? What house does this light up for you? Okay. And if you're not sure how to find the house, I've got a video on how to find the active transits for you. I'll put it at the end of this video. But look at what housing area is having a birthday, because this means that for the next 4 weeks, This area of your chart, this department of life is highly motivated to have your attention. It's motivated for you to diversify, to be curious, to want to seek knowledge, to find different networks, maybe even to find your new network of people. There's a heavy exchange of information that's going to go on for the next 4 weeks to really make sure that this area is functioning. Now, I will say, because the sun is moving into Gemini while the moon is void, of course, you can be trying to talk about, communicate something, write an email, you're trying to do something, or you're even thinking about something and it's like you can't really hold the vision. It's like murky or something in here. And this will pass. This will pass because the moon later in the day is going to get into the vibration of Scorpio. But I just want to say, if you find that, you're coming into Monday and you're like, I just can't get my mouth around these lips, or I can't really see the vision. And that's what happens for me sometimes, is I come and I can like see the vibration of the day and kind of see if I'm in flow with it. And sometimes when the moon is void, of course, I'm like, we're all going to die. Like I just get so dramatic and I can't see anything and the pressure feels really heavy. So just be mindful that yay celebration to this area of your chart. The Gemini cycle is on for you, but also the communication might be a little bit wonky at this particular time, okay? Now, like I said, later, the moon is going to move into the vibration of Scorpio. Okay, so for those of you that have your moon in Scorpio, whether it be your solar return moon, your natal moon, your progressed moon, okay, if it's going through Scorpio, you're having some kind of lunar return or lunar event. For the rest of us, you just want to watch the house of your chart that Scorpio is lighting up, and it does it once a month. So this is your opportunity here, first of all, to say, okay, what is driving me? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What is attached to this? Do I really want to do this? Am I really motivated to do this? Or what is my motive behind doing what I'm doing, saying what I'm saying, aligning with these people? Where am I having power and control struggles, right? Am I power struggling with something? With the moon in Scorpio, one of the best things I think you can do, and especially since that sun is up there in Gemini, these energies are curious. They are intensely, intensely curious. Now, Gemini is curious, like, I want to gather all the facts. Scorpio is like, I want to think deeply about the facts, So it's really a kind of a nice day and kind of a nice energy where you maybe are even probing yourself. You're like, oh, well, with new information provided to me, or thinking more differently about it, or maybe that Gemini sun is starting to bring some new and exciting opportunities, people, lifting a veil from your eyes. And now Scorpio's like, yeah, I'd love to go deeper into this. I'd love to actually get subject matter mastery on this and kind of research and probe this thing. So that's something you can be thinking about as we have this beautiful Scorpio moon traveling energy. And of course, my Taurus tip for you is that if you like to cook, cardamom is delicious. Hot mustard is delicious. These are wonderful foods that you can use and you can play with during this beautiful Scorpio moon time, okay? All right, now when we get to Tuesday, so just to say this for you to be thinking about as well, as the sun comes into this Gemini vibration, what's going to happen after that is on the 21st and on the 22nd, we are going to see that the sun actually comes into first a semi-square with Mars. This is challenging, and this is a little bit problematic because what's happening here is that the sun is ready to network and to navigate, and you're ready to do something, or you feel like you really want to have a conversation with somebody, and it's like, it can be too direct. This is a little tiny square. You're coming off, or someone's coming off at you with a lot more force and fire than they're necessarily meaning to. And the truth is still going to be the truth, but this may not be, again, the best, most relatable circumstance where everybody gets their message communicated with ease. So I would just be a little bit mindful of that, okay? Then When we get to the 22nd, we're going to talk about this, but we're going to see also that the sun in Gemini is going to be in a trine to Pluto. Now, this is actually quite useful because I think this is an aspect that helps you find your tribe, helps you kind of find where you're going to be fitting in the world, what you need to fit, go where you're treated best, right? You have a bit more answer here. Now, so those are just some things that I want you to just gnaw on for a minute, have in your consideration bubble, because they are going to impact the way that we deal and have energy this week. Okay. On the 21st, going back to Tuesday, we've got the sun in that semi-square to Mars. So something to think about besides just not coming off right or coming off like too strong in some way, shape, or form is that this can be useful if you have things that you have left undone in some way, a project where you needed to make that phone call. You need to actually just sit down and write that article and stop thinking about it, but actually just do it. This would be actually great for finishing it. It's a good finishing it kind of energy. Now, what I do want to caution you to is not being too persnickety about how this goes down. Don't get lost in so much of the details that you don't actually get the project you're trying to work on done, because that's not going to help you. Now, the semi-square to Mars may also put you in a really great position where you're realizing that you are procrastinating. This moon is in Scorpio as well. You're like, what is my motive? And you're actually reflecting on, why do I have this simple task in front of me and I seem to be unwilling to just get it done? What is this? What's going on? I can share with you guys that I went through a handful of like 6 months where, for whatever reason at the time, it wasn't revealed to me yet, I didn't want to get on the floor. Like, I didn't want to sit on the floor, which is very uncommon for me. I've been a dancer my entire life, sitting, stretching, being on the floor. These are common to me, right? And I would not get down on the floor. It made my body tense, almost like I was having an argument with my body, right? And the day and the time and the moment came, perfect alignment of aspects and willingness, right? And I had to get down on the floor. And when I was down on the floor, what I realized is that I didn't want to do something. My motive for not getting down on the floor was being afraid that my body was going to tell me that it was ready for certain changes I mentally was not ready to make yet. And subconsciously, unconsciously, it was a block. And this is a place where I was able to more efficiently and willingly come to know myself. So I also think that this aspect on this day is a great day for to thine own self be true, but know thyself first. So you may be spending some time figuring out and asking the questions of, why don't I want to do this? This seems like the simplest thing in the world, and how come I'm just not over here getting it done? Okay, when we get to Wednesday, now I told you we were talking about the sun being in that trine to Pluto. I really think that this is so helpful. Okay, Pluto is retrograde. So it's tipped into this place where it's the world that we haven't been to yet. We've just started to explore a new whole globe, world, idea, pain points, fear for ourselves personally and the world around us. And we got to see into it just a little bit. And now we get to back up into something that we know a little bit better. And we've already been here, right? We're retrograding. We've already seen the path that we're on. But now we get to reorient, research, reflect, resharpen our skills, relearn skills, learn skills that we need in order to go forward. But in this trine with the sun here on Wednesday, I think that this is really an energy of uncover, discover, discard, renewal. This is a renewal energy because it's like you've come out of the darkness in some way. It's, it's a phoenixing kind of energy. You've come out of the dark in some way and you're like, okay, I know it. I understand it. And I'm willing to go to my tribe. I'm willing to be taught by my people. I'm willing to ask questions. I'm willing to let my curiosity evolve into me being where I am treated best, having the best medical attention that I can, treating and talking to myself the best, right? Whatever it is, I think that this energy helps give you that evolution courage to take on the change, right? So Ooh, you'll have to let me know in the comment section down below what you do discover as we're traveling through Wednesday. Now, this is all building up as well to Thursday, which is busy. It is busy. Okay, first thing into the gate on Thursday, we're here on the 23rd. We're coming in with the moon void, of course. So it's very early in the morning. So unless you're one of our early morning workers or something like that, you're not necessarily going to be in the bubble of this energy, but you may be, you know, if you're an early morning person. And then just quickly after that, we come from that heavier scorpionic energy of like probing deep into our soul and our motives. And why does that mean that to you? You know, in our deepest desires, it's also quite magical. Into a Sagittarius vibration, which is like, oh, let's just take it easy. Let's be easy. Let's, you know, what do I need to be honest with myself about? Where am I willing to go to expand my horizons? What's my next adventure that I want to take on? So we start to come into that vibration. Now, before we get to this full moon, we see that the moon comes into Sagittarius, and right next to that, we've got Venus and Jupiter coming into a conjunction with one another here in Taurus. Now, the benefics are together. When the benefics are together, I don't only think that it is this energy of things being really good, really lush, delicious, abundance can be a part of the story, right? And in Taurus, they're coming to you. You're not having to do anything for them. You're attracting them. This is a Venus energy. You're attracting them, right? But it's also an energy, I think, with Uranus having done such good work in Taurus, it's this place where Taurus is not just aware, not just receiving the abundance, but aware of different resources that contribute to abundance as well, right? It's not like, oh, I don't have any abundance. It's awareness that you do have abundance, and you have it in multiple forms. I have it in health. I have it in the network of people I choose to surround myself with, in my thought process and how I heal my mind. I have it in terms of finances. I do think that this is a great energy for finances and relationships. So if you needed to smooth anything over, or, you know, you're looking for some romance, whether it be inside of your own committed relationship or you're single, you're looking for that, right? This may be the time to go have that morning run. Go to the grocery store first thing in the morning and let these vibrations just be upon you, because there is just such an energy of abundance attached to this. So really, really enjoy that. Venus brings it in. You really understand it, value it, and then Jupiter will expand it. So it's also this concept here on Thursday where what you focus on will grow, will expand, okay? Now, before we still get to the full moon, then we see Venus just a few hours later step into a sextile with Neptune. And I call these two the Bobbsey twins, because these are the two where it can, like, it's too good. It can be too good. It can just be too good, right? It's like, oh, that is lush. Yes, it's so good. It's too good. But where this sextile, which creates a pocket of opportunity that you can intelligently do something with, where this is great is to be really creative. Work on your creativity, work on your spiritual connection to things, you know, work on music, bring music into your life, bring art into your life. There can be this energy where you seek companionship. It's very romantic, right? It's really very romantic. Now, I do caution a bit because it is Neptune. And it's Neptune at 29 degrees of Neptune, which is as equally powerful as delusional, right? So it's coming in and this person just slides in with all of their sliding, and you're like, you're literally the soulmate I've been dreaming of. And it's so good for 2 weeks. And then this person, like a light, flashes and blinks out. So I do propose a bit of caution, but also to be in the romance of it. Romance yourself. Venus is in Taurus. This is a sextile. This is water and earth coming together. Get you a mud mask. Okay, moisturize your skin. Get some good stuff. Go in your kitchen, get that olive oil as long as it's real. Take it to your scalp. Take it to your skin, right? Let yourself be just lush and delicious with you. When is the last time you oiled your own thighs? It did make me think of chicken for just a minute, but it's still a really good practice, and you should do it. Moisturize, fill yourself, fill your body, bring the romance and the creativity into your life if you can. Now, here's something else to keep in mind. We are going to see this aspect between these two particular planets again December 4th, and we saw it before February 13th, so just the day before Valentine's Day. What was going on for you? Was there something really creative that you stepped into, or did someone blow into your world? What was happening at that particular time? Okay, we've done all of this, and it's only, we're getting midday. We're getting into the early morning of the day. Now we've got this full moon happening at 2 degrees of Sagittarius, and this is the full moon. So I love it. I get really excited for us because now we get to pattern track and see exactly what this moon is bringing your attention to. Okay, so first of all, this particular moon, the aspecting of it is divine. It is simply divine. It is in a really, really nice sextile with Pluto. So we've got an air and fire sextile, which means that something of the mind, something that we are willing to transform and evolve into and out of, is actually telling this beautiful story of our own changes. So it is here, it is on the table. But next we've got these connections that are happening with Venus, with the ruling planet of this lunation, Jupiter, that is also happening over here. Look, we've got Neptune in the mix. This is absolutely a brilliant, divine moon. But where this also will connect back to the starting point of this particular moon is going to be November 23rd of 2022. And what was happening is that there was a full moon happening, a new moon happening at 1 degree of Sagittarius, okay? So you would have been planting your seeds of intention to begin something at that time. And think Sagittarian, you were going beyond your normal horizons. You were really enthusiastic about it. It was going to expand you in some way. When I look back into my life, I can tell you what we were doing. We had pushed the go button on buying tickets to do our first scouting trip to look for our space in Spain, right? So what were you doing? What were you going on? What were you working with? What were you calling into your life at that particular time? Because that is exactly what you are checking in on right now. And you do want to check in, right? This is the thing I want to make sure that I'm giving you space every week to do, is to spend time with yourself in your own life and look at what you've done. I heard this quote this week from a movie, and I cannot remember what the movie is that it's from, but she says the point of being married, and I also think it's the point of being with people, is so that you have someone to witness your life, because there are millions of people on this planet. So one life really doesn't make a big difference, but it makes a difference to the people and the person that you bring into your life who makes space to witness your life, to help you witness your life and what you're doing and where you are unfolding, so that it's seen, so that it's felt, it's remembered, it's believed. And I think that when we talk about these lunations like this is what I hope to give you some space to do by looking at the lunar family, is to track back into your own existence. I could come and sit with you on YouTube every week and tell you all these cool things, but if you don't see your own story manifest, unfold, you see where you completely crapped in the milk and did it wrong, or you really did something right, you took a leap, how do we witness our lives, right? Now, you set your new moon time, November 23rd of 2022. Then we came forward into August 24th of 2023. This was the first quarter time, so you would have been in action. Absolutely, you're moving, you're making decisions, you're tearing down something old and building something new. Now, as we come to this full moon time, it's like, okay, there's this illumination of all of this work you've done, all of these actions you've taken, all of the, and you're deciding which path you're going to commit to. Do I continue forward? Do I just need to pivot this a little bit? Where am I going to go, and I'm going to take this next? Now, when we get to February 20th of 2025, that's going to be the last quarter time where we're going to start to turn away from it. It's like, okay, I did it. I did it. I brought it to completion. It's sorted. It's settled in my life. I took that adventure. And you also receive things from it. You receive the benefits from what you've built and what you brought into your life at that particular time. So knowing these dates, go back into your planners, go back into your social media, go back to your Instagram and see what you were getting up to at these times to see how you can really take a magnificent advantage of this particular full moon, shining all of the light, telling you to end something, acknowledge something, make an adjustment, make a pivot, but to commit to the journey that you want to go next and to celebrate what it is that you have built and what you've been a part of. I love it. I mean, Thursday is just absolutely brilliant for it. And listen, it doesn't stop there. Then we're going to see hours later that Venus moves into the vibration of Gemini. Whoa, Venus, our attracting, pulling in, attracting to us energy, moves into the space where Venus is, first of all, wanting to receive and values receiving information, wants to love, wants to appreciate, wants to attract intellectual things that have to do with conversation. But also Venus and Jupiter celebrates the love of duality. I love you and hate you. You know, like, has anybody ever been married? Okay. Like, right. That could be a whole thing. It's this space too of like, I don't want to talk to you, but we really should talk this out. I like this, but I like this, you know, so it can be like a busy kind of love. It can be valuing multiple perspectives at the same time. Now, Venus in Gemini is not entirely emotional. It actually moves love a bit more to the head, to the air energy. So even the way that expressions of love or the ones that you value may be coming through simple communication, you know? It's like you never cared about getting a card all your life, and all of a sudden Venus is in Gemini and you're like, that card or that letter or that post-it was really nice, or I saw something on a mug and it really caught my attention, right? Now, in other ways, Venus in Gemini is curious. How could I make money with that? Yeah, who is that neighbor? Right? So you can experience this. Now, obviously, Venus, like every other planet, when it moves into a sign, has a shadow energy, and traveling here with the sun at the same time, you have to watch out for, first of all, being really superficial in what you're interested in and missing that maybe who you're talking to, who you're engaging with, there's a person attached to that, and like you're trying to keep it at a superficial level and that's not working out. But the other thing is gossip. Chisme, okay? Like, don't gossip. It's not going to be the best for you. But if somebody told you, hey, I heard about this opportunity on .com and you wanted to check it out, that is spreading information as opposed to spreading the gossip. So that could actually be something that's quite useful. Now, before we go, Jupiter is going to come into a sextile with Neptune before it makes its way just on Saturday out of Taurus and into the sign of Gemini. So Jupiter in this beautiful sextile to Neptune here. Again, remember that the sextile is a pocket of opportunity and you intelligently take action on it, okay? So the first thing I think about with these two, because Jupiter is doing that expansion, and both of these planets, both of these energies are quite boundless. So you do have to be mindful. Moderation can be like moderation what? You can be throwing moderation in every way, from a physical thing, from a financial thing, you know, from your time, your being, your energy. You're just outputting. And that boundlessness can make you exhausted. It can almost be like your identity dissolves. You know, that you can have these kinds of things. So you do want to be careful later in the day here on Thursday that you're not losing yourself, your money, your whatever, because there's a boundlessness happening. But instead, your intuition is quite high. The psychic abilities, all of your clairs may be on. Even some of you who are not exactly as tapped into your clairs as others, it may be a day where if it's not one of your clairs, your gut is lighting up and it's like, don't say yes to that. Don't say yes to that. You don't want to do that. I would highly encourage you in your life always, if you really don't want to do it, don't say yes, because it bites you in the butt every time. But this is a day where you can be intelligently taking action on the messages that are coming through your intuition, okay? Now, when we get to Friday, we actually get a little bit of quiet. There's some lunar events that are happening on Friday, but it's actually a bit of a quiet day, but the excitement starts to pick back up when we get to Saturday. So coming in, first of all, we've got Venus in a trine to Pluto, okay? Now, because this is a trine, it creates a pocket of opportunity or ease. They can easily access one another. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I get it. I get what we're doing here, okay? So first of all, there's this pulling in, this magnetism, this valuing that something, there's like, it's like a renewal. There's new life, there's new breath, there's a new version of something on the table. You know, depending on what house this is happening in your chart, did your money have a renewal? Did your relationship have a renewal? Did you find your tribe and your people? You figured out how to go where you're treated best, and you're feeling like, wow, you know, this is where I fit, and it widens your world and your potential to go and have your evolution there. I think that this is a fantastic energy, and you may even be feeling it a little bit into Thursday or into Friday, excuse me. And you may be feeling that energy just a little bit, but I think it's much stronger as we travel with it here. But there's absolutely an opportunity too for really big financial changes. Pluto can also take you to the level of VIP. You're not just phoenixing, but you are rising. You are rising to the top. You are rising to this next level. So make some space for your life and your previous actions and the things that you value to surprise and delight you. One of the things I like to think about here is that, you know, you may have skills and talents and resources that you don't think are a big deal, and someone else needs them to the tune that they're like, listen, I would be willing to barter and trade for your services, or I would be willing to pay you for that, or, you know, can I just buy you a coffee? Because I'd really like to hear more about what you have to say about that. That's very valuable to me. So make room for just who you are and who you've been in your experiences to really light someone else's life on fire, okay? Now, as we get to midday, we're going to see a cluster of energy kind of happening. And the first thing is we're going to see the moon step back into some void of course energy. And it's only going to last about an hour, so not too long. Early in the day, if you feel distorted, you feel the cloudy energy or the pressure or the heavy come in, it's going to last about an hour. So just move easy. Rest. Remember, this is permission to let yourself come down off the wall. Rest, breathe, reset. Not be in collision and action with anything else. Just take a whole minute, okay? And just after that, we will see the moon move into the vibration of Capricorn. So throughout the weekend, it's like, okay, let me get me together. Let me get sorted. Let me pull this together so that I am, you know, I have my foundations under me. I am organized. I am delegating the things that I can let go because I don't need to work on right now. I am making smart financial plans that emotionally allow me emotional and financial freedom. I am creating new foundations emotionally that I can stand on. And I think about it, if this week you have really found your tribe or you've acknowledged some things about yourself, coming to set a new emotional foundation based off of information that you have gleaned about yourself or others all week long, this is a great place to make a start. Make a start right here. Build something solid, build a structure, you know, and I really think it's the difference between, it's like, you know, if you're trying to, I'm just to use a very blanket example, but if you're trying to lose weight and you are 55, but you're trying to lose weight with the at-home workout video for those that are 25. You're in the vicinity, right? It should work, but they maybe don't have the same capacity for really understanding and treating you the best and holding you that really cool workout video for those who are 40 and up that start to talk about hormones, start to talk about these feelings over here, start to talk about what does it mean to be a woman, or, you know, these kinds of things that click more into the buckets of real relation. This is the place where I think you set the foundation and you run with the winners of your life, because winners are not good or bad, but it's where can you win? Where are you treated best? Who's going to be cheering for you and have the same kind of story? And if you're not in alignment with that, it kills the spirit. So based on what we've learned all week, I think this is an opportunity to set a real course and foundation for yourself, okay? Later in the day, Jupiter moves into Gemini. Now, Jupiter has not been in Gemini for 12 years. So first of all, you can go back in your life 12 years ago, and you can go back 12 years before that. What was going on? What were you doing? 2000, 2001, what were you getting into, right? I was starting college. 2012, what is that? 2012, 2013, 2012. Yeah, 2012, 2013. Like right then, what were you doing? What were you getting into? What expansions? What exchange of information? What period of enlightenment was really heavily on you? Because that's where this is going to represent. And what area of your chart does this light up? Right? For me, this is absolute, like, fantastic, divine information. It's a time where this lights up for me my third house space. And what I was doing in 2000, what I was doing in 2012 was learning 2 other languages. I've just recently enrolled in a more advanced Korean institute, right? So where is this happening? What house is lighting up for you that you can go back, okay, wow, I'm awakened and I can participate in where my traditional energetic signatures are at to have this expansion that I'm not going to have again for the next 12 years. How do I really make this big? How do I expand this knowledge? How do I, Jupiter, let a teacher pour knowledge into me because I'm at the end of everything that I know? I've got to get curious and let information come to me. And I have to look at and understand how I think, how I speak, and how I participate in that. So really going to be a good time. Now, I also think that Jupiter and Gemini can make things really, really complicated, because if you are not picking a path, picking 1 or 2 things you're willing to commit to study, to be engaged in, to be about, Jupiter and Gemini can send you excess. It sends you too many options, too much information. It sends up here where your head feels like it's spinning and it's click, 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 and it's crazy, right? So I think there are some real downsides to this as well. So one of the things you can do as you're preparing for the week is going ahead, pick a couple things, 1 or 2 things, very Gemini, 1 or 2 things that you are willing to commit to learning, you're willing to commit to being taught, so that as the distractions from those things come up, you can say, that's not for me. That's not where I'm treated best, right? All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, that takes us through the weekend, because Sunday is also quite quiet. We've got a little bit more lunar activity, but in the end, the sky is really quite quiet until we roll into next week. So if you have made it to this point in the video, make sure you check out your Pluto retrograde video that I already recorded for you. Really important to check that out. Understand what this Pluto retrograde is about and how to work with it. And of course, I will put the how to find the active transit video at the end as well, for those of you looking to understand which house this is happening for you. All right, I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.